Hey guys, welcome back to another update video. I made myself a sign this time so I don't forget. This is update 2.19 for Technofirma. It's just me this time because I was a bit late making the update video. I've been working some crazy hours the last few days. This update is big in some ways. The main one is that there is no longer better sleeping. It's been removed. Yes! So happy. I didn't want to remove it because it added to the difficulty of the pack, but it was an absolute nightmare. Me jumping around, you can probably hear another... Well, maybe you can hear it if I shut up. There's been a mod added which adds a lot of custom sounds to the game. The only downside is I can't seem to make it any quieter. I tried to adjust it before the episode started, but whatever. I think that's cool. Adds a lot of ambiance to the world. There's been a few recipe changes and fixes. For a long time now, people have been crying out for a use for poor ores, because when you get into the late game, you can't use them in the arc furnace. So Dex has added a recipe using UU matter, so I guess I'm going to have to eventually get into making that. And that turns it into a whole bunch of normal ore, which you can then process further into like their ingots. Then we've had a buff for rusty ladders because these were crazy expensive. They looked awesome, so you wanted to use them, but you couldn't afford to do it. So now you get 5 per 3 iron. I think that's a good amount, actually. You can combine those with the rusty hatch. There's a new recipe for the map. Yeah, there it is, with the bone needle, which still needs a better name. Combine that with charcoal and paper and you get your map, because the map is used for a couple little bits and pieces. Atlas, zone planner, open computers stuff. What's this? Territorial dealings. Yeah, bunch of random stats there. One thing I'm sad about, flint and steel, one of my favorite and most useful items. He's nerfed it. Okay, so you have to make it actually with a steel ingot now. Makes sense with the name, but I mean, you wouldn't need to use steel with a piece of flint to make fire. Well, I guess well, whatever. So yeah, you have to wait a little bit longer to get your fire making tools now. And he's also adjusted the other carpenter's items. So he's added a recipe for the carpenter's blocks. You can use lumber, and now he's also done that with the wedge slope and with the gate. There you go. I never thought I was going to actually use that, but now that trees don't drop saplings, I find you have to go absolutely miles to get sticks. I've actually been pretty grateful for the option to use lumber to make carpenter's blocks, and I've been building stuff in my single player world. Couple of little fixes. There was one issue with this creosote barrel. There's a bunch of recipes getting added for using barrels for crafting. One of them is that you get a barrel of creosote oil and you can put a bunch of lumber in it. I showed that in the last update video. And it turns it into treated wood planks. But now it's been fixed, so you can use it with any type of wood, and we'll get our treated wood. So that's going to be great. I put all these types of iron in here just to show you how many different types there are. People get really confused about how to make the different types. So wrought iron, pretty obvious. You make that in your bloomery. Compressed iron from Pneumaticraft. You can craft that with the wrought iron, which is the Terrafirma craft version. You can craft that with TNT to get your compressed iron. Refined iron is now the industrial craft version. I'm not actually sure. Oh yeah, you make that with unknown ingots, combine that with your wrought iron, and that gets your refined iron. So you need that for some industrial craft stuff. Then processed iron is a new version. Well, it's not new. It's vanilla iron's always been in the pack. You still make it the same way. You basically grind up wrought iron in a macerator and then cook it, and you get processed iron. So you need that for a few bits and pieces as well. These aren't new. They've always been in the pack, but the recipes have been hidden for some reason. So you can actually see the recipes for the smoker now. This is a cool little cosmetic block. I want to make a few of these. The only problem is how expensive they are because of the cauldron, but whatever. They do look awesome. They're worth it. The coke oven brick. The coke oven's really, really essential for progressing in Technofirma, and you can now see the recipe, which is to make that from fire brick blocks. And also the rolling machine. This is one that I haven't actually made before, and you look at it, the recipe is pretty, well, I guess it's not crazy expensive, but you need to be really advanced, at least in I'll put it in quotation marks, vanilla Terra Firma craft to be able to make one of these, and that's going to help you make some metal plates for different bits and pieces as well. The other big change to the pack is with kind of ore generation, specifically the Thaumcraft ores. So, well, there's a lot of tweaks. I'd recommend checking the patch notes for the exact details. But basically, they don't all spawn everywhere anymore. Some of them have very specific rock types that they spawn in, and others spawn in everything except certain rock types. So you'll have to read through and see where you can find those. I'm actually planning on getting into Thaumcraft very soon, so I'm gonna have to pay very careful attention to that. Maybe search for some new chunks to find the ones I'm missing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nice quick little video, quick run through the different recipe changes. There's a couple other bits and pieces which I'm going to leave as hidden ones because I couldn't think of a good way of demonstrating them. So play along, you'll find a few surprises as well. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.